Greetings, ladies and gents. Thomas Ruse Bazar with the Poet Warriors, the Bays, coming at you with another literary snack, an inquiry of sorts. This one centers around a place. As I'm talking about as a writer, it could be as a reader, and what I think of as place, a specific place, a location, a setting, if you want to call it, of the novel, of the film, that is like a character of that work. When I think of films, for example, when I think of the films of Andrei Tarkovsky, the great Russian filmmaker, his sense of surrounding, setting, place is so strong that it serves like a character in the film, in the story. The environment, the aspects, the weather, the natural elements. They really have a very strong, how should I say, they have a very, very strong impact on the telling of the story, how the story unfolds. When I write, I think place is very, very essential, very much a character, very much a very strong characteristic aspect of my work is the setting. I think that the weather, the almost surreal type of happenings with the weather and how it can change and how it could affect characters, how it can affect a situation, how it could set up an atmosphere and a mood. A place can give you that. The physical details of something, and also being aware of not overdoing that, but giving the reader a sense of, like, you suggest, and then let the reader take over with their imagination. I think one has to be very careful with too much description, like a maximum amount of description. I don't particularly like that. I know that's an aspect of some writers. They write like that. You're going back to the 19th century, very strong about, describe the hair on a character's ears, the lines that crisscross their neck. From top to bottom, you'll get a 3-page description in 19th century novels. I think, of course, that's overdoing it. I think also today in the 21st century, one has to be careful about the length of a work, how much description you put into something, because I think, let's be real, our attention spans, I could speak for myself, they've been severely compromised, with TV and series, and of course what I'm recording on right now, our smartphones and social media. Heck, I have a tough time reading. I have a tough time sitting still. I have a tough time sitting right now and doing this. Not really, but I do. So I think as writers, speaking from my own experience, I really try to condense description, but going back to a physical setting and how a place can be a very strong characteristic of that novel, how it affects characters, how it affects the writer in the telling of that, I'll get into that later, maybe another snack about show versus tell, or what that means. But I think it's the place is very important and can be very important. Weather. I think weather is a very real factor. I think things happening inside that place can create tension. Like if there's like a killer on the loose, and watch the news. There's always something like that. Look at the Netflix. There's series on serial killers and the murder mystery of this and the murder of that, and so these stories in and of itself, the content of it creates tension. I think setting can create tension. And remember, if the fact is the character, the main character, or characters are at odds with something, sometimes they're at odds with what's taking place in the setting, in the physical setting. And I think as young writers or beginning writers or writers in general, for me, I love place. I love setting. I love how that affects and how that's a strong component of my work, and what I look for in others' work. When there's a focus on that, and it's not just in the background, and it's so much on character development and the inner world of the character. I'm not too crazy about stuff like that. I love the fact of the external world having an effect on the internal, and having effect on characters and their journeys, or the main character's journey. Anyway, I hope I made some sense here about place and setting, and how important and how crucial that can be in a literary work, in a film, in a theatrical work. I don't know, theater, it's kind of tricky. I don't want to get into that, but so more literary, more film setting. Peace. Tasty.